Hello, hungry travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Poland, the land of pierogi and paczki. And today we're going to talk about what you should eat and drink when you come here to Poland, because there is a lot of food you can enjoy when you're here. When I mean a lot of food, I don't just mean a lot of options, I mean a physically lot of food, because here in Poland, they feed you until you explode. You do not have to worry about leaving the restaurant hungry, and you definitely don't have to worry about leaving Baba's house, Grandma's house hungry, because she will feed you until you explode. But anyway, let's talk about some of the foods you should definitely try when you're here. And one thing I think is really important, this list is more like general things you want to eat around Poland, but the thing is there's lots of regional foods as well, especially the kielbasas. You have different sausages around the country you want to try, but I just want to give you kind of the overall, here's Polish food 101, so you have a rough idea of what's going to be on that menu, so you have an idea of what you should get when you do come here. Whether you're going up to the coast of Gdansk, get the fish soup, or you're here in Krakow, get the bagels from the blue carts, or if you're in Warsaw, there's a lot of fantastic stuff, all right? So let's get started. And if we're gonna get started, I think it's important to realize when you get started eating in Poland, you start with soup, zupa. They love soup here. Look, whether it's in the summer, the fall, the winter, the spring, if you're going out to eat, you're gonna have a big meal, you're gonna eat a lot of stuff, you're probably gonna start with a bowl of soup. And there's a lot of different soups you can have when you're here. Probably the most famous one is żurek, and żurek is basically, it's sour rye soup. Think of it as a soup with sausage, potatoes, and of course you got the boiled egg in there. But what's probably most famous for is you'll see it served in a bread bowl, but that's kind of like the most famous one you're gonna see around, but not necessarily the most tasty one. But for me, there's other soups I prefer. Like when I'm in Gdansk, I love the fish soup. And the fish soup here, you can be near the Baltic Sea like in Gdansk, or if you're anywhere that there's rivers nearby, you get that fresh fish soup. That's actually my go-to. If you're here in the summer, sometimes you can get cold borscht. Not all the time, and I've seen here in Krakow, it's been on a lot of the menus, but they actually don't have it. But basically what it is, it looks like Barbie soup. It looks like Pepto-Bismol. It's like bright pink. You're like, oh, I don't know if I have that. It is fantastic. And if you can't get the cold borscht, just getting the normal borscht, the beetroot soup, that's a really good one that's here. Also, you'll see like a chicken broth kind of stuff that'll have dumplings in it. That's another great soup you want to have when you're here. But there's just tons and tons and tons of soups when you are here you're going to have. But that's how they kind of start your meal. Soup is the thing. Okay, now another kind of maybe starter thing you might grab at a restaurant, or you're gonna see it more like on the streets, you'll see people like grilling cheese, and there's smoked sheep's cheese from the Tatras Mountains. You'll see it like a distinct shape they have, and they grill it up on there. It is fantastic. I'm not even gonna try to say it because I'll butcher it, but I've had it many times when I'm here. It's got a distinct flavor that the rind is all crisp up and the niceness inside. And you know, when I've looked online, people go, oh, we compare it to brie, but it doesn't taste like that. Yeah, don't compare it to brie, because it doesn't taste like that, and it's nothing like that, but it is a really good cheese, and they do have really good cheeses when you are here, especially local farmers cheese. Nice, okay? And I'll talk about the cheese and the farmers cheese, how it comes in the cheesecake later, but I gotta talk about those starters first, okay? Now, probably the most famous Polish food out there is the pierogi. You know those dumplings that are out there? And they are wonderful. And what's cool about the dumplings, whatever you want inside pretty much goes. You know, if you want to get meat inside, yep, you can do that. You want to get cheese inside, yep, you can do that. You want cabbage and mushroom in there, yep, you can do that. If you're tired of the savory ones, it'd be really nice if I can get a sweet one, yep, you can get them with jams inside, and so you can have a sweet version too. Oh, it's so good, especially in the summertime, having the ones with the fruit in it, so good. But pierogi, they really are something like when you go around the world, you talk about Polish food, pierogi always come up, okay? Now, if we're gonna stick with the kind of main course kind of things when you're here, next thing we have our cabbage rolls. And basically what it is, minced pork with rice, you know, in a ball, and they wrap it in a cabbage leaf and they cook it in a tomato sauce. This has been the go-to to all my friends, Babas, the grandmas, making stuff for me when I visit. I remember one time we literally came, it was like 3 in the afternoon. We come back and my buddy's like, oh, my grandma's making us some cabbage rolls. I'm like, didn't we just teach? She's like, no, dude, we can't say no. And she literally was like, have more, have more. I think I had 4 before I thought I was gonna die, because literally they're gonna feed you until you pop when you're here. But the cabbage rolls, a nice simple thing you can grab when you're here, very traditional Polish thing. You have in other countries too, but I just like the ones here in Poland. You can do that. Another thing, if you're looking at meat dishes, they have the cutlets that are here, the Polish pork cutlet. So, you know, if you know your Wiener Schnitzel kind of stuff, that kind of theme with the pork cutlet is hammered down and then battered and fried, usually made with some sauerkraut. And the sauerkraut here, I've actually liked it better than in other countries because it's got more flavor in it that way, which is cool. Probably some boiled potatoes with it, you can do that. Lots of different meats when you're here. Pork will pop up a lot, you can get that. But you'll see steaks. We've had duck when we've been here. We've had rabbit when we've been here, so you can have that. So lots of different meat dishes you can have. Probably another famous Polish dish is kielbasa. When you think of kielbasa, you think, oh, it's a Polish sausage. Well, yes, kielbasa is a Polish sausage, but it is all of the Polish sausages. You have to realize is the sausages can be different places you go. So here in Krakow, you have the Krakow kielbasa. You go to other places, they have their own version. So the flavor is going to be in different places, but kielbasa in general is just sausage, okay? It's just the word for sausage, and there's a lot of different flavors with it. So do get it. And sometimes you just grab one on the street, and it can be a nice, tasty treat when you have. And when you go around, I talked about that cheese can be like a little thing off the street, but another little street thing you can get is actually the bagels. Like here in Krakow, you'll see these little blue carts, and they've got these bagels in there, like little twisted bagel with seeds on there. Yeah, that is a famous thing from here in Krakow, but in Poland in general, you can grab grab a bagel as the street eat. There's another thing I like to call it my like French bread pizza. Basically, when you walk around, whether you're at the gas station or you're at the train station or go around, they have this bread. It's like a flat bready kind of thing, and it's basically a Polish version of pizza on top, which is a very popular like on-the-go snack. Again, another word that I cannot pronounce, but it is actually really tasty. I can't tell you how many times I had one of those at the Warsaw bus station, because I used to take the bus from Warsaw to Vilnius like back in the day when I lived here 25 years ago. And so that was like my go-to snack. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go there to have one of those. So you can have that for street eats. And like I said, the kielbasa, the sausage on the street, always good, right? You have that. Now, some other tasty treats I think you should have when you're here, the pancakes. Now when I say pancakes, there's different ones, because you can have the potato pancakes when you come here. Think about it, they shred up the potatoes to make a little fantastic little potato pancake out of it. You might have sour cream on it. Some people put goulash on there. Some people put mushroom sauce on there, but the potato pancakes are actually really, really good. You can do that. And if you want more of a traditionally pancakey, crepey kind of thing, you have the blintzes here. And the thing is, when you have the blintzes here, it looks like a crepe, but then it's filled and they fold it up. And what's cool is they then pan fry it to like make it crispy and warm up the inside. So the cheese is a little bit meltier, the fruity stuff's a little bit warmier and lummier and tastier and lovelier. But those are really, really good. I mean, I'll get those, just the cheese one with a little sauce on top. You can't go wrong with that. Now, another famous thing you're going to see here is hunter stew, or bigos. And bigos basically, think of it this way, sauerkraut and fresh cabbage and pork sausage and mushrooms and this kind of rich stew. And it is quite filling when you are here. I would say in the summertime, for me, it's just too heavy. But I've been here in the wintertime, I've had it, really enjoyed it. So that's another famous dish from here in Poland. And when you're eating when you're here, you're going to get a lot of food. And they have a lot of side dishes as well. I mean, potatoes galore. Like potatoes, and more potatoes. That's I guarantee you're gonna have stuff there. Pickles will show up in a lot of things as well. Rye bread, like that dense rye bread, they really love that. And hey, when you get like a roll or something, don't like put it upside down on the string. Just be respectful with the bread here, because they respect their bread. But the rye bread, really good when you are here. Maybe just grab it at breakfast if you're not gonna have it at a restaurant, but it is really nice. Another thing they have here is buckwheat, okay? And basically buckwheat, if you see it, it looks like, wait, it's like exploded. I think this is what oatmeal would look like if it didn't have the liquidiness to it. And buckwheat, how do I explain it? Like you see it and it looks like cooked kernels of moistness, but actually it's really, really good. Like I love it. When I used to live in Lithuania and come here for work, a lot of times that was like my go-to side dish, because it was much more of a different texture but really robust flavor. I mean, it's hard to explain. I'm sorry, but buckwheat, really, really nice side dish you can have when you're here as well. Obviously, like I said, sauerkraut comes up a lot here too, you know, cabbage kind of stuff, because cabbage is a big part of the diet here, but sauerkraut as a side dish is also another big one when you are here. But let's think about some of the sweets you're going to have when you're here. Now, the first thing, obviously, I'm going to talk about the paczki, the donuts, you know, the big old Polish jelly-filled donuts. You've got great bakeries around here, and you can grab all kinds of great snacks, whether they've got poppy seeds in them or chocolate in it or whatever. And I'll be honest with you, if your hotels charge you what you feel is too much for breakfast, you don't need to. There's enough bakeries. You can go get really good baked goods when you're here, and even just get a big old paczki, a big old donut, and just enjoy that with a jam inside. You can't go wrong with it. But the pastries here are really, really nice. Next up, we have Polish cheesecake. Now, if you're thinking cheesecake like New York style cheesecake or Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, this is not like that. Think of this more made with actual cheese, not just dairy, but actual farmer's cheese kind of stuff. It's much denser, it's much drier out there, okay? So be aware of that. So you might want to have a drink while you're, have the kava, have the coffee, or more importantly, the herbata, have the tea while you're having your slice of Polish cheesecake, because it is a bit drier, but it is really a tasty thing. Another thing you want to have here is the Polish apple pie, or it's more apple cake when you come here, which is really good. You can have that in all kinds of, like, those are kind of like go-tos. Like, you're going to find paczkis all over the country. You're going to find the cheesecake all over the country. You're going to find the apple cake all over the country. That's really good. But there's a lot of regional dishes as well. Like here, you have the pope cake, which is basically layers of, like, layer of cream and puff pastry kind of stuff. You can have that when you're here, but that's another regional thing. So look on the menu to see what they have and ask, hey, which one's the regional one here? Because it's probably going to be good. And of course, you have the little kolachkis, the little, like, rolled up, fold up, like almost like cookie with the jam inside, cookie kind of stuff here. Very popular as well. Cookie or pastry, I guess you'd say more of a pastry than a cookie. You can get that. That's kind of like another go-to thing you're going to see probably at your hotel on their breakfast table, or when you're going around, or when you go to friends' houses as a little snack, they might serve you. So that's another nice thing there. Now, let's talk about the drinks when you come to Poland. And yes, they do drink when they're here. And if we're talking about alcohol, piwo, beer, and vodka are the two biggest alcoholic drinks you're going to have when you're here. And one of the important things you need to realize when you're here in Poland, if you're with other people and you're drinking, you don't drink before you cheers each other. And also, when you cheers each other, you have to make eye contact, okay? Otherwise, bad things will happen in your life, let's say, okay? So be aware of that. But the big ones, the beer and vodka, that's the two big, like, alcoholic drinks that are here. Another thing you might see is what's called compote, which is basically like a fruit drink. You can have that when you're there. Sometimes you'll miss the compote. You'll put your alcohol in there and mix it together. It's like a fresh fruit with vodka mix or something else. You can do that. You can drink the water here, no problem. When you go to restaurants, a lot of times they're not bringing you tap water or anything. You're going to buy bottled water, and you can easily get bottled water all over the country, so there's no problem here with that. Now, I mentioned the coffee, the kava, and the herbata, the tea, earlier, but that is another thing. For breakfast, your hotel, you'll notice they'll have actually tea in your hotel, because the Poles like to have tea. Like my buddies that I'll go out and drink with at night, if we meet during the day, we might just go meet for tea. Like, seriously, that is the thing here. They love their tea, but kava, coffee, also very big here as well. Also, you have what's called kwas, and kwas is basically, think of it as a rye bread drink. When you drink it, it's almost like you think like, oh, this is some type of beer that doesn't have alcohol, maybe like a stout without alcohol-ish, in that direction. It's an acquired taste. I'm not the biggest fan, but I know people that really love it, and it's something that's very a traditional thing when you're here in Poland. You might want to grab it when you're here. And the thing is, when you go around Poland, there's a lot of different restaurants you can go to. Outdoor seating in the summer and springtime, it's always good to go do, because you can take in the beautiful architecture, see the people go by, the very beautiful people going by when you are here. Another thing I think is important to mention, if you go around, they're not as popular as they used to be, and you don't see them as much as back in the day, but milk bars, basically, think of it as like a cafeteria that sells old school Polish food and good portions at a good price. It's worth to go at least once when you are here, because locals do go there for like a cafeteria style lunch, so you can do that. But in general, when you're going out to eat here, it's very meat heavy. It's very big portions. Like, you don't walk out of a Polish restaurant not feeling like you're going to explode, because that is kind of how it is when you are here. Now, in terms of eating times, lunch is noon to 1. Dinner time is more like 6 to 8 is more of the traditional dinner times when you are here. In terms of days that are off, most restaurants, especially in tourist places, they're open every day, so you can do that. If you're here in the summertime, a lot of the restaurants will stay open later, or especially drink places will stay open if they have outdoor seating to enjoy the beautiful evenings here in the summertime, so you can do that. But I'll be honest with you, when you come here to Poland, you will pop. You will pop in Poland, because the paczkis and the pierogi and the potato pancakes and just all the fun you're going to have when you're here, and the babas, the grandmas that literally just feed you and feed you and feed you, you're really going to enjoy it. So I know I did not get a lot of the regional dishes like the pulled pork sandwich here in Krakow, or other things around the country. What are other things people have to eat and drink when they come here to Poland? Please put it down in the comment section below, so we can have other travelers explore more of the culinary treats of Poland. And I'll say bye from here in Krakow, because now it's time for me to go have breakfast, because I'm hungry after making this video. Bye.